Okay, today I want to finish up with competitive bidding. We've been looking at competitive bidding for the last 2.5 months. We have looked at all kinds of doubles. We have looked at the takeout double, the negative double, responsive double, support double, maximal double, and special emphasis on the penalty double. We've looked at the simple overcall and responses. We have looked at the two-suitor bids, the two no trump, usual two no trump, and last week we looked at the Michaels and the leaping Michaels. Today we want to finish up looking at competitive bids, and I want to finish by looking at the preemptive jump overcall. We've already looked at the simple overcall. The simple overcall is where you, if you recall, is where you just simply bid your suit at the lowest level you possibly can. That's the simple overcall. The jump overcall is where you bid at the 3, 4, or 5 level. In other words, you're trying to jam the bidding. You have a weak hand, but you have a bunch of cards in your suit, and you're trying to jam the bidding and make it difficult for the opponents to reach their particular contract. They may not get to the right game, or they may get too high, or they may miss a slam, or whatever. So these preemptive jump overcalls by you, they have opened the hand. You bid your suit at the 3, 4, or the 5 level even, can be extremely effective in causing the opponents who the hand belongs to in finding the right contract. So we looked at preemptive jump overcalls. We looked at jump overcall opening a preemptive bid, and then we looked at, once they have opened, making the preemptive jump overcall. And I want to just go back through part of that lesson and talk about it. These would have been March 29th and April the 5th. So in talking about how high you bid, when you make these bids, you need to be very, very careful about the vulnerability. If they are vulnerable, their side is vulnerable, they are red, and you are white, non-vulnerable, you can overbid by 4 tricks. And I have examples of each of these, but let me just go through the chart first. If it's equal vulnerability, both are white or both are red, both vulnerable or both non-vulnerable, you can overbid by 3. You can, when you make your jump overcall. The one instance in which you need to be extremely careful is when they are non-vulnerable and you're vulnerable. You're red, they are white. You don't want to overbid by more than 2 tricks. In other words, whatever you bid, you telling your partner, I'm within 2 tricks of making my hand. When you overbid by 4, you're saying I can make, if you contract it for 4 hearts and you bid 4 hearts, you make an overcall 4 hearts, you're saying I'm within 6 tricks. I can make 6 tricks in my hand if they are vulnerable and I am non-vulnerable. So you're always looking at your hand, looking at the number of cards you hold in your suit, but most of all, paying attention to the vulnerability. If they are non-vulnerable and you are vulnerable, that's the time you need to be extremely careful. Whatever you bid in that last instance there, you want to be within 2 tricks of making your contract. Because when they double, it can be extremely, extremely costly. All right, I want to look at examples of each one of these. First of all, I'm going to look at where they are vulnerable and you are non-vulnerable, and you can overbid by 4 tricks. They are vulnerable, your side is non-vulnerable. The rule of 4. Let's look at your hand. They have opened a club and you bid 4 hearts. They are vulnerable, you are non-vulnerable. What you are telling your partner is, partner, I have contracted for 10 tricks. I can take 6 tricks. Let's see if that's going to be the case. You look at your number of losers. You have 1 loser in the spade suit. You're going to certainly lose the ace, king of hearts, so you have 2 heart losers. You have 1 diamond loser, and you have 3 club losers. So you have a total of 7 losers. Does everybody see that? 1 spade, 2 hearts, 1 diamond, and 3 clubs. That's 7 losers. If you subtract 13 tricks, to subtract the 7 from it, you get 6. You contract it for 4 hearts, make 10 tricks, 10 minus 6, you have overbid by 4 tricks. So that's the rule of 4. You can overbid by 4 if they are vulnerable and you are non-vulnerable. Now, let's look at the second situation where both sides are vulnerable or both sides are non-vulnerable. Your equal vulnerability, in other words. You can overbid by 3 tricks. That's the rule of 3. So in this instance, they've opened a club. If I bid 4 hearts, we're both vulnerable. I'm telling my partner, I can take 7 tricks on this hand. That's all I'm promising, because I can take 7 tricks. And let's look at the hand. You have 2 spade losers for sure. You have to lose the ace of hearts. So you have a heart loser. Hopefully you just have 1 diamond loser. You know how you count your losers. You count the number, the first 3 cards in each suit, and you don't have but 2, so you count 1 loser there. Although I suspicion you're not going to get that king of diamonds. It may be that the guy that opened the clubs got the ace and you're going to lose 2 diamonds, but I don't know. But anyway, this is the way you count your losers. And you have 2 club losers. So you have a total of 6 losers. 13 minus 6 equals 7 tricks. You've contracted, when you bid 4 hearts, you have contracted to make 10 tricks. So you subtract 7 from 10, you have overbid by 3 tricks. And you can do that when you are equal vulnerability. Either both sides are vulnerable or both sides are non-vulnerable. Now, this last one is the most important one, and the one that you need to be extremely careful about. If they are white, non-vulnerable, and you are red, vulnerable, you can overbid by 2 tricks. So on this particular hand, they have opened a club and you bid 3 hearts. So what you are saying is, I've contracted for 9 tricks. I guarantee I can take 7. So let's see if that's the case. Counting your losers, you have 2 spade losers. You do have to lose the ace of hearts, so you have a heart loser. Hopefully you have just 1 diamond loser and you have the 2 club losers. So you have 6 losers. 13 minus 6 equals 7. You've contracted, when you bid 3 hearts, you have contracted to make 9 tricks. 9 minus 7, you've overbid by 2 tricks. So you always, when you're going to make these preempted jump overcalls. Now the simple overcall, remember, you just bid your suit at the lowest level you can bid it. Say if they bid a club and you've got 5 or 6 spades, you bid a spade. But the jump overcall is where you bid 3 spades or 4 spades or something like that. And it's called a preemptive bid. The preemptive bid is just trying to jam the bidding, trying to make it difficult for them to get to their correct contract. And sometimes they guess and they misguess. You don't have a problem when they're vulnerable and you're non-vulnerable. You can really bid big there. If it's equal vulnerability, then you can overbid by 3. The one case you want to be most careful about is when they are non-vulnerable and you're vulnerable. And let's look at it and see how devastating, costly it can be. Now, I know you all know the scoring and that type of thing, but just to show you, let's say that you go set by 1 trick and you're non-vulnerable and you're not doubled, it's only 50. If you're doubled, it's 100. If you're vulnerable and you go down 1 trick, it's 100. If you're doubled, it's 200. You go down 2 tricks, you can see the chart. 100 if you're non-vulnerable, 300 if you get doubled. If you're vulnerable, it's 200. We're going down 2 tricks, and if they double you, it's 500. The big one is if you go down 3, particularly if you're vulnerable and you get doubled, you're going for 800. And I'll guarantee you, if you go for 800, you are getting a bottom board. If you go for 800 or more, because no game that they can make, unless it's a slam. If they do have a slam where they would get 900 and something or more if they were vulnerable, that's the only save you had. But what I'm telling you is, you go for 800, and unless the other side has a slam, you're getting a bad board. And also, you have to depend on people in the direction all bidding the slam. And this happened last night. We sacrificed to 5 level, got doubled. They have a cold 6 spade, and nobody in the whole field bid to 6 spades. So we get an absolute 0 on the board. But again, what I'm trying to tell you here is, when you are vulnerable and they are non-vulnerable, you see how devastating, how much more costly it is. And then I would leave you with one other point before I move on. The person who makes the preemptive jump over call should not ever make another bid. If they bid a club and you bid 3 hearts, and let's say they go to 4 spades, you have no business now bidding 5 hearts. You leave all subsequent bids. Either your partner raises your suit, depending on what he's got, or he doubles them in case he's got their suits. But you don't want to ever open your mouth again once you have made your preemptive jump over call bid, whatever it is. All right, the next topic that I want to talk about is bidding at the 5 level. Your side's got 9 or 10 trumps and their side's got 9 or 10 trumps, and you get up to the 4 level and one of you goes to the 5 level. One side goes to the 5 level. And what you want to be careful is, do you outbid them and bid 5 of your suit? Do you double them for penalty? Do you pass and let them play it? And it's very difficult at the 5 level to know exactly what you should do. And I thought that we would be served well by looking at this, because it comes up a number of times. How high do you compete? Do you sacrifice? Do you outbid their 5 level by bidding your suit? And so I wanted to look at this and spend a little time on it. It's still not clear cut exactly in some situations that what you should do, but most of the time when they have bid up to the 5 level, it's probably unwise for you to try to outbid them. In other words, as the title there says, the 5 level belongs to the opponents. Many factors combine to make it unwise to bid 5 over 5. If they bid 5 diamonds and you bid 5 hearts, possibility you're not going to do well on the hand. And we're going to look at how you try to determine whether you should bid again or not. That first bullet there, your hand might be distributional. Theirs are often more balanced. And you might have more winners than you expect you got. Your partner, when they bid at the 5 level, your partner may have a minor honor, or he may have some queens and jacks and some of those other suits. And you see at the 5 level, they can lose 2 tricks, but it may be on some of those side suits, your queens or jacks that you and your partner hold in some of those side suits turn out to be a trick and they go down. And the same thing happens to you if you bid up to the 5 level. They may have some stray queens and jacks in some of the side suits that end up setting you. So you have to be careful about trying to outbid them at the 5 level. The third bullet, when you're defending a 5 level contract, it's many times a lot easier than trying to defend a 4 level. You have less chance of making an error in your defense when they're at the 5 level than you do, particularly if you've been competing. If both sides have been competing and they end up in the 5 level, you have a pretty much good idea of what your partner's got and what they've got. And you have a better chance to actually defend and set the contract. So you know this law of total tricks always is driven by the number of total trumps each side's got. So we're all bidding along and we're up at the 4 level. Presumably we either both sides have 9 trumps, or maybe both sides have 10 trumps, and one of us goes to the 5 level. Now, most of the time, the combined total number of tricks is only 19 because of one side's got 9 trumps and the other side's got 10. And most of the time, when you bid 5 over the 4 level, it turns out to be a disaster. So I want to look at a hand, and you are south. This is your hand. And let's look at the bidding, first of all. South is the dealer and holds 10 high card points. And I'm having him open a heart. I would never open 2 hearts, even though you have 10 high card points. Your hand is a lot stronger than that. You have 7 hearts and you have 4 spades and you have 2 singletons. This hand is not a two-heart opener for several reasons. First of all of your points are in your two suits. You never open a two-heart bid or a three-heart bid when you're holding four of the other major. So that's another reason not to do it. And the playing strength of this hand is, you can't estimate it at this point. So South should open a heart with this hand. The next hand, which is going to be West, has 14 high card points, has a 6-card diamond suit, also has 14 high card points, has opening hand. She can make the 2-level simple overcall of 2 diamonds. Remember when I talked about making a 2-level overcall, you need to have a good suit, as well as if you only had 11 points in that suit, I would still bid 2 diamonds. But here she's got 14 points. Definitely are going to overcall, make the simple overcall of 2 diamonds. The next hand, North, has 7 points, and she also has 3 hearts. So I think she can make the constructive bid of 2 hearts, raise her partner's hearts to 2 hearts. It's telling her partner, I have 3 hearts, and I have somewhere between 7 to 10 high card points, and that's what you've got. East has 9 high card points. She likes the diamond bid. She has a doubleton in the hearts, and she's got that big ace sitting there, and she's got the queen third of diamonds. She raises her partner's overcall to 3 diamonds. South decides enough of this already and bids 4 hearts. Well, I would too. There's no need to dilly-dally around when your partner's told you she's got 3 hearts and you got those 2 singletons and you got the ace of spades. You simply bid 4 hearts with the South hand. All right, now here's where it gets interesting. West decides she's going to bid 5 diamonds. Her partner's raised her diamonds. She's got the singleton heart. Both sides are vulnerable. So she decides to go ahead and bid 5 diamonds. Passed by the North hand, passed by East, and now South comes in there and bids 5 hearts. And West doubles. So look at that. South bid 5 hearts, gets doubled. He's going to go for 500 on this hand, I think. He has to lose the ace of diamonds. He has to lose the ace of clubs. He has no heart losers, but I don't know. He's going to have at least 1 spade loser. But I think he's got 2 spade losers. I don't know how you're going to play that. How you're going to play the spade suit to not have 2 losers in that suit. So he goes for 500, minus 500. If he just lets them play 5 diamonds, they're going to go down at least 1, and your side gets plus 100. So you see, by being an eager beaver there and bidding 5 hearts, which he had no business doing, he gets doubled, he goes for 500. Whereas if he just sits and lets them play 5 hearts, he gets plus 5 diamonds, he gets plus 100 on it. So here's what I'm trying to tell you about this whole thing of who gets to play at the 5 level. Sometimes bidding at the 5 level and getting doubled can be extremely costly if both sides are competing and both sides has a large number of trumps. Let's look at the number of trumps. Hell, 10 trumps are in the heart suit for North-South, 9 trumps for East-West. So that's a total of 19 tricks. 19 tricks, you always count the trump suits between the 2 hands. So what I'm saying is, when South already told her hand when she bid 4 hearts, she needs to just pass. When they bid 5 diamonds and your partner does not double, North does not make another bid, then South needs to not bid 5 hearts, but just simply pass, and they go down for plus 100 for your side. So I'm hoping this hand illustrates how costly it can be when you bid up there to 5 level, knowing both sides has at least 9 to 10 trumps against you. All right, so question you want to ask yourself, when you're trying to decide, they've competed up to the 4 level and you're trying to decide whether to bid 5 of your suit or not. Here are the questions you want to ask yourself. Should I let them play it? Should I bid on? Should I sacrifice? Should I double? Whatever, what should I do? To bid to make at the 5 level. So they have bid up to 4 spades and you are thinking, okay, I want to bid 5 hearts. Should I do it? If I'm planning to make it, what you need in your hand, you need a lot of extra high card points. You need extra trumps. You need probably a good 10. You need not just 9, but you need at least 10 trumps and maybe even 11 to bid at the 5 level. And you need to have high card points. You need sorts of outside tricks. You need to have controls. You need to have aces and kings, or maybe with singletons or voids. Maybe have a singleton in their suit. These are the kinds of things you need to have in your hand when you're trying to make the decision. Do I bid over their 4 level bid? Do I bid at the 5 level? Or if they have bid at the 5 level, do I bid my suit at the 5 level and say, I want to play it at the 5 level? You want to make certain. You look at your high card points, you look at how many trumps you've got. If you've just got 9, I think I would pass and let them play the hand. You need to have big cards, the aces and kings. You don't want to have queens and jacks, like a queen jack doubleton or something like that. No. You need to have control of whatever their suit is, probably a singleton, maybe the ace or something like that. Let's say you're thinking about contemplating to sacrifice at the 5 level. They have bid at the 4 level or maybe even bid at the 5 level and you play to sacrifice. Now, again, you're wanting to look at vulnerability. To sacrifice at the 5 level, you know that you're going to get doubled and you want to make certain that you don't give up the ball game because you have done this. Maybe you are pretty sure they can make their 5 level contract. You're almost positive they can make their contract. That's when you want to think about sacrificing. So you need extra trumps. You need more than just 9 trumps. You need 10 or maybe even 11. 11 would be even better, but you know for sure you do have a 10 card fit with your partner. You have distributional values. Maybe you've got a singleton in their suit, which is the optimal thing. You have very few tricks on defense. And you have the expectation they can make their hand. Now, again, that 4th bullet down is extremely important. If you're vulnerable and they're not, you got to be careful. So if they're not vulnerable and you are vulnerable, you need to be within 2 of making your hand because you are for sure going to get doubled. All right, so now you're going to always, before you make your sacrifice bid and trying to decide whether you want to sacrifice, knowing you're going to get doubled, you count your tricks on offense. How many tricks do you think you have? And trying to estimate what your partner's got. And you look at the vulnerability and you decide, can I afford to be doubled for penalty? Of course, if you're non-vulnerable, I would bid it. But if you're vulnerable, I certainly would just, I believe, put my green card, pass card out. Look at the number of tricks you're going to take on defense. If you've got a long suit and your partner's got the same suit, you're probably not going to get any tricks in your suit. So that's when you need to be very careful. If you're not going to take any tricks on defense, then you can't double them. And of course, the level of vulnerability will determine whether or not you outbid them, knowing that you are going to get doubled. If you get doubled, if you're non-vulnerable, again, it's worth the risk. But if you have any doubt at all about the 5 level contract, or you're making a sacrifice, it's better just to pass. I think that probably pass is your most often bid that you need to be thinking about making. But again, looking at the factors such as vulnerability, non-vulnerable versus vulnerable, if you're non-vulnerable versus vulnerable, consider bidding. If you know that you've got 10 or 11 trumps between your 2 hands, because you know you're not getting any tricks on defense and you can stand for the penalty double. But if you're planning to make it, then you've got to have a lot really good high card, like 18, 19 high card points, and a good 10 card fit to even consider outbidding them at the 5 level. You're more than likely going to set them. You probably need to double them, particularly if they're vulnerable, and they're going to go down probably 800 or 1100 on the hand. So trying to decide whether to compete, pass, or to double them at the 5 level is a tricky business. But normally you don't try to outbid them. You particularly don't try to outbid them if you only have known nine trumps between you and your partner's hand. You got to have at least 10 to even consider overbidding their 5 level bid. Most of the time, it's probably better just to pass if their 5 level bid. But if you have a large number of high card points and you have the expectation you're going to make this hand, then you certainly should go ahead and outbid the 5, bid your suit at the 5 level if you can, or at least double them for penalty. Now, the references for all of this information came from Bridge Bum and Karen's Bridge Library. If you look at the learning page on our website, go to the learning links. Both of the Bridge Bum and Karen's Bridge Library are both listed there for you. And a lot of material is there available. I don't know if you know about the learning page, but there are about 15 or 20 different places you can go for various topics. Karen's is particularly good and Bridge Bum is outstanding. I highly recommend it. Now, I want to finish up looking at this 5 level by, these are 2 hands that were from the Bridge-based online discussion forums. This is where they were taken from. You know, and when you play online, you're playing in Bridge-based online. And occasionally they do hands and they'll do a discussion of them. And these are 2 that I thought were particularly interesting. First of all, you are north, and this is your hand. You do not have very much at all. You have 5 high card points. And you're certainly not going to be bidding initially. The east-west side is vulnerable, and this is the way the bidding has gone. And let's look at it. West opens a heart, presumably has 12 high card points and at least 5 hearts. Certainly, with your 5 points, you're going to put your green card out, pass. East raises to 2 hearts. So what he's saying is he's got 3 hearts, and he's got anywhere 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe even 10 high card points. He didn't make a limit raise, or he didn't do anything, but just simply raise his partner's hand. So his partner knows he's with, you know, maybe got 7 or 8 points, but it knows he's got 3 hearts. Now your partner comes in and makes a big 2 spade bid. To make that simple overcall, he needs to have South needs to have opening hand, needs to have at least 5 spades, presumably 6. But he's not vulnerable, so he might could do it on 5 good ones, but probably 6. And West doubles. And the explanation given by the double is that it's a game try. His double of the 2 spade bid is saying, I think we have game, partner. You've just raised me to 2 hearts. And by the way, one of the lessons I'm going to cover is when you open a heart or a spade and your partner bids 2 hearts or 2 spades, and you want to try to make a game try, you do so by asking for help. What suit do you have help in? Do you have help in this suit? So when that 2 spade bid is put in there, it kind of messes him up on asking. Presumably he's got 17 or 18 high card points. He wants to know if you've got 9 or 10 when you raise to 2 hearts. So he's making a game try. He doubles. The explanation given is it's a game try. Pass. East bids 3 clubs. So I think what the 3 club bid is saying, yes, I have help in the club suit. And now your partner is not to be daunted here. Comes in there and bids 3 diamonds. So you're looking at your hand and you're looking at the 3 club bid and you're saying, okay, I got 4 clubs. And then your partner bids 3 diamonds and you're saying, okay, I got the queen, jack, 10 of diamonds in my partner's suit. And I also got 3 spades. So I'm thinking my partner's 6-5. If you are the north hand, the way he's bidding, like he's bidding his brains out, I'm thinking my partner's 6-5 to bid like that. West comes down and Q bids 3 spades, pass. East, enough of this already, says, okay, we're going to game in 4 hearts. Pass. And North at the 13th hour, North has not made a peep, says, all right, my partner's got at least 6 spades and I've got 3. I also have the Queen, Jack 10, and his diamond suit. I think they can make 4 hearts. So basically, your 4 spade bid is a sacrifice saying they have a game in 4 hearts. Pass, pass. And now West comes in there and bids 5 hearts, and you are North. Do you pass? Do you double 5 hearts? Or do you bid 5 spades? You don't do any. You simply pass. You have told your partner when you bid at the 13th hour 4 spades, you have told your partner, I have a few points, I have at least 3 spades, and maybe something in the diamond suit. North should not ever make another bid. He's bid 4 spades to take preference for spades over the diamonds. When they bid 5 hearts, North does not make another bid. You should simply pass. It is now up to your partner, South, whether or not she feels she can double the 5 hearts or whether she should bid 5 spades. But North should not be making a bid. So what actually happened on this hand, and it's quite interesting, on the actual hand, the opponents made 5 hearts for plus 650. And your side, if your side had sacrificed, you're going to get doubled. You would have gone down 1 for minus 100. So who knows? But North, you holding the North hand, you've told your story when you take preference and say 4 spades. When they go to 5 hearts, now you leave all subsequent bidding up to the South, to your partner. Your partner can either double them, he can pass, or he can bid 5 spades. In this instance, if he had a bid 5 spades, your side would have gotten the top board. But you as North, holding that awful hand, you've made your 1 bid. You don't make any more bids. It was up to South to decide what to do. All right, the second hand was also on Bridge Base Online. And let's look at it. North-South is vulnerable, East-West is not. The North hand is the opener, has 13 high card points, has the 6 clubs, so you're going to open a club. Look over to the right at the East hand. East makes the 2 club, the Michael's Michael's bid. 2 clubs is showing at least 5-5 in the majors. Does not have to be alerted. And then the interesting bid comes out by South of 3 hearts. And it's alerted. And what the 3 heart bid is saying is that he has a singleton or a void, more than likely a void in the heart suit. The East hand is showing hearts and spades when he makes the 2 club bid. You see that South could have bid 2 hearts. If he bids 2 hearts, he's showing the 4th suit, which in this case would have been what? Diamonds. But if he'd have bid 2 spades, he would have been showing support for his partner's clubs. But he didn't bid 2 hearts or 2 spades. South bids 3 hearts. And it's alerted, and it's a splinter or a void. His partner says he either has a void or a singleton or a void in the heart suit. Now we come over to the West hand. West knows his partner. What does he know? He knows he's got at least 5 hearts, and he's sitting there with 5. 5 and 5 makes 10. Law of total tricks. He bumps up there and bids 4 hearts. The North hand bids 5 clubs. The North hand guy has to know that his partner has now a void in the heart suit because of the bidding. So he didn't have a singleton. He actually had a void in the heart suit. So he bids 5 clubs. East goes to 5 hearts. He has no trouble bidding 5 hearts when he knows his partner has at least 5 hearts. Pass, and East-West is not vulnerable. Double by the North hand, which is a stupid bid because it tells you're not going to get any hearts. East playing the hand knows that the South hand has no hearts. So where's the King of Hearts sitting up there in the North hand? So he knows exactly how to play this hand. He has 3 spade losers. He's got the Ace King, but his partner's got a doubleton. So he's got all those hearts sitting over there, the trump, the jack, 9, 2 of spades. He knows exactly where the king of hearts is, so he can come right through it. He also thinks that he has no club losers, and he leads towards his king of diamonds at some point, and he gets the king of diamonds. So he makes his hand. So it was a stupid double by North. North should have just let him play the hearts, let him play 5 hearts, not come back in there and double. Can't possibly set it. So that was a very, very bad decision. Okay, bridge has, I want to finish with this. Bridge has all kinds of rules, like third hand high. I've led, dummy comes down. Normally, my partner would be the third person to play to the trick, would play third hand high. We all hear the trick if you're going to finesse. If you've got 8 trumps, you always finesse. If you have 9 trumps, you don't finesse. You pull trumps early. We all hear that. But all these rules, and many, many of them, all these little cliches we hear, when in doubt, lead a trump, all of these you should just take with a grain of salt. Many times they are made to be broken. In fact, some need to be broken more often than not. But one rule that normally you want to adhere to is to let the opponents play at the 5 level. They bid to the 5 level, let them play it there. You either double them or not, but don't try to outbid them at the 5 level. Now, we've seen several examples. We saw one example where it would have been better had you outbid them. We've seen 2 examples where you should not have doubled them. And so, particularly for inexperienced and beginning players, let them play at the 5 level. Of course, judgment and the level of vulnerability are always factors in making your final decision. Now, I want to look at the hand that I gave you last week. This was the assignment from last week. You hold the south hand of ace queen of spades, 6 hearts to the queen, 10, 9, 8, 4 diamonds, and a singleton club. They have opened the guy on your left has opened a diamond. Your partner has made 2 diamond bid. She is showing at least 5 hearts and at least 5 spades. East makes the bid of 2 hearts. Remember that the 2 heart bid is the lower of the 2. North is showing spades and hearts. Spades outranks hearts. So when they put the 2 heart bid in, it is showing support for the 4th suit, which in this case would be clubs. South makes the bid of 4 hearts. He knows his partner has at least 5 and he's got 6. So he looks in there at 4 hearts, pass, and now all of a sudden, East comes in at 5 clubs. What does South do? Does he pass? You're holding the South hand. There's your hand. Do you pass 5 clubs? Do you double 5 clubs? Or do you bid 5 hearts? So this was your assignment. Or do you outbid him at 5 hearts? Now, you know that your partner has at least 5 hearts and you have 6. So you do have 11 trumps. You do have a singleton in the club suit. You do have the ace of diamonds and you have that ace queen of spades. And you know your partner's other suit is spades. He has at least 5 spades. So I want to look at the entire hand and then let you come back and decide what you might do. Now, you remember when I talked about making these bids, these 2 suited bids, I said, you normally, if you have a weak hand, less than 10 points, you make the 2 suited bid. Or if you have a strong hand, about 15, 16, 17 points, you make the 2 suited bid. But if you have an intermediate hand, such as like a 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 even, you just try to bid one of your suits and then try to bid the other one. But in this situation, you look at the North hand. North has the weak 2 suited hand. So let's look at the bidding first of all. And coming back to the bidding, as you recall, West opens the hand with 1 diamond. There is West's hand. West has 10 high card points, and you're saying, well, why in the world is he opening 1 diamond? He's only got 10 points. But you look at that hand, you do have 10 high card points, but you have two suits with five cards in each one. So you count 10 for your two suits, your length in the two suits, and your 10 high card points. You get the rule of 20, and that's how he justified his opening of one diamond. If he gets a chance, he's going to rebid two clubs, and he's going to show them that he had a just a weak opener. Okay, so he opens the diamond. North has the weak two-suited hand, 5-5 in the majors, bids two diamonds, showing 5-5 in the majors. We come over to the East hand now. East knows that there are 5 spades sitting over there in the North hand, has the void in the heart suit, but she's also got the 4th suit. So when she bids 2 hearts, her bid is saying, I have the 4th suit, I have clubs. So it passed. And the South hand, wait a minute, she bids the 2 hearts. South is looking at her hand and she says, oh, wow, my partner's got 5 hearts and I have 6 of them. So she bids 4 hearts. She simply just leaves the 4 hearts. Pass, and now East comes back in at 5 clubs. Looking at the bidding up here, comes back in at 5 clubs, and you're now South. So what do? Do you double the 5 clubs? Do you bid 5 hearts? Or do you simply pass? All right, let's look at the analysis of the hand. West opened a diamond using the rule of 20. He has 10 high card points. He has 10 points in his 2 longest suits. That's the rule of 20 to justify his opening of 1 diamond. North has the weak 2-suited hand, bids 2 diamonds, showing 5, at least 5-5 in the majors. East bid 2 hearts, showing the lower of the 2 known suits, showing the 4th club suit. Now, South has a tremendous hand. His partner's showing 5-5 in the majors, and look at what he's got. He's got 6 hearts. He also has the big ace queen of spades of his partner's suit, of his partner's spade suit. If you recall one of the bids I talked about last week, I talked about if you Q bid their suit, you are showing a very strong hand. Either we're going to game or maybe even slam. In this particular instance, the guy South just simply bid 4 hearts. I think his hand is much too good to simply bid 4 hearts because he doesn't know his partner has the weak hand, the weak 5-5 in the majors. But he's got such a tremendous hand. He has the ace queen of his partner's spades. He has 6 hearts. He knows his partner has at least 5. He's got the singleton club. He's got the ace of diamonds. His hand is much too good to just simply bid 4 hearts over the 2 heart Q bid showing clubs that East made. I think a better bid by South would have been perhaps just 3 diamonds, showing game or slam interest. But he didn't do it. He bid 4 hearts, which is a sign-off bid. When South puts that 4-heart bid in over the 2 hearts, showing clubs, it's a sign-off. I think his hand is too good. I think he should have bid 3 diamonds, but he didn't do it. So let's say he bid 4 hearts. All right, what actually happens then, they get up to 5 clubs, and South, you're holding this tremendous hand. Now, what do? Do you bid 5 hearts? Do you double them, or do you just let them play 5 clubs? So let's look at it. I think you made the wrong bid when you bid 4 hearts to begin with. You should have bid 3 diamonds, showing a huge hand. A possible bid. I don't think you want to bid 5 hearts. I don't think you want to double. I think probably, since you've already misbid, probably bid 5 diamonds is a possible bid. Ask your partner to bid either 5 or 6 hearts, depending on his strength. If East-West goes to 6 clubs, then I think you double them for penalty. So I think this is the most interesting hand, and maybe worth looking at and thinking about a little bit. All right, I want to finish today by looking at 2 hands that were played on Tuesday. One of them is a Liebensaal bid, and one of them is something to do with slam bidding, how you can show a void. And that was not something I taught when we talked about slam bidding. All right, I want to look at the first hand. This hand John and I played against Carol Roby and Lou Singer. Carol opened 1 no trump. John bid 2 hearts. It's a natural bid playing Meckwell. 2 hearts shows 6 plus hearts. It's natural, it's the play. It does not show hearts and spades. It simply shows hearts. Lou thought for a while, and then he made the 3 no trump bid. His 3 no trump bid is Liebensaal saying, I have at least 10 high card points, but I don't have a heart stopper, partner. And so unless you've got a heart stopper, you better not be leaving it in 3 no trump. So remember on your convention card where it says for Liebensaal, fast, F-A-S-T, fast arrival means you don't have a heart stopper. If he had gone through over the 2 hearts and bid 2 no trump and then bid 3 no trump, he's saying I have a heart stopper, but he didn't have that. He also did not have 4 spades because over 2 hearts, if he had bid 3 hearts, he would have been saying, I have 4 spades, it's Stamen, but I don't have a heart stopper. So Lou made the bid of 3 no trump, saying I have at least 10 high card points, I don't have 4 spades, and I do not have a heart stopper, but we need to be in game somewhere. Carol came back and looked at her hand and put it in 4 spades on a 4-3 fit, played the Moisian fit. And it turned out they got an outstanding board on that hand. I think at another table, Karen and Preston played. And Karen, if you might correct me, but I believe you opened a no trump. The 2 heart bid was made and Preston bid 3 clubs. So if you bid a suit at the 3 level, it is game force. Same difference, it's game force. I think you ended up in 3 no trump and the guy underled his ace of hearts. John held the ace, queen, 6 of hearts. Single and king of hearts comes down on the board. So here are the 4 hands. Let's look at them. Carol opened a no trump. She had 17 high card points over here in the west hand. She doesn't have a heart stopper, but you're going to open 1 no trump with that hand. John makes the Meckwell bid of 2 hearts. He has a wonderful heart suit behind the no trump person. So 2 hearts is his bid. Now we come to Lou's hand, or I believe Preston's hand. Preston held this hand also. He has 13 high card points. He knows his partner's got at least 15. So you got to be in game, but he doesn't have a heart stopper, nor does he have 4 spades. So he made the bid of 3 no trump, which is fast arrival. Says, partner, we have game values. I don't have a heart stopper. I do not have 4 spades. If he had had 4 spades, he would have made the bid of 3 hearts over John's 2 hearts. And he would have told his partner, I have 4 spades, and they're going to end up in 4 spades. So Carol made a wonderful bid by bidding 4 spades on a Moisian bid, and it rolled. I think you got a very good board on it. I believe Karen and Preston actually played 3 no trump. And the person who was on lead underled the ace of hearts, king of hearts, takes on the board, and it rolls. You have 5 club tricks, and you have, 3 or 4 diamond tricks, and you got the ace, king of spades, you got the king of hearts. So I thought this was an interesting example of Liebensaal since we just recently covered it. And the second hand is one of getting to the Grand Slam. This, by the bid that was available to me, my partner was able to bid the Grand Slam. So I want to, this was something when I covered the slam bidding, I did not cover how to show a useful void. And this hand came up and I thought, well, since I was remiss in not showing y'all how to show a useful void when I covered that in August the 9th, I wanted to show it to you now. All right, east-west is vulnerable and north-south is not. And let's look at the hands. East passes. East is the dealer and she passes. I held the south hand. I have 11 high card points, but this is kind of like that hand a while ago where you had 6 hearts and 4 spades. All of my points are in my 2 suits. I would not open 2 spades with this hand. You open 1 spade with this hand. I opened 1 spade. The next hand passes. Oops, sorry. And North, my partner, bids 2 clubs. I had to alert that bid because we play that a 2-club, 2/1 game for us. He could have as short as 2 clubs. So I had to say alert. They asked me what it means. I said he has 2 plus clubs, because they're expecting him to have a 5-card club suit. Now he does happen to have wonderful club suit there, but all I know for now is, oops, I've opened this stupid thing with 1 spade, and he's making a 2/1 game for us bid. Little did I know that he had interest in going to a Grand Slam. But anyway, he bid 2 clubs, which I alerted, saying it could be 2 plus clubs. And then I come back and I bid 2 hearts. At this point, I don't know how this hand's going to play, but I want to show my partner in my hand. I have at least 5 spades. I have at least 4 hearts. And pretty much, once you're in 2/1, you don't have to try to show whether you got a minimum or a maximum. You're bidding. That's the beautiful thing about playing 2/1. I can do a lesson on 2/1 if that's something you all would like me to do. But anyway, I simply going to bid 2 hearts here. Next hand passes. Partner now takes preference over spades, bids 2 spades. We have now set the trump suit is now spades. Looking at my hand, I don't have anything else to say. I make the picture bid of 4 spades, saying, partner, I am just got a bunch of spades. I have minimum opening hand. I don't have anything else to show you in this hand. And I'm hoping he's going to shut up. Oh no, 4-no trump rolls out there. Of course, that is the key card. Blackwood asking me for my key cards. I don't have but 1 key card, and I'm awfully sick at this point. So I say 5 clubs, which of course is showing 1 or 4. I have 1. I have the ace of spades. Partner now bids 5 diamonds, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh. He wants to know if I have the queen of trumps and if I have an outside king. Now, I bid 6 hearts. And now he bids 7 no trump. I have available to me 5 hearts over his 5 diamond bid. I could have bid 5 hearts. That would have shown the queen of trumps. I do have the queen of spades, and it would also have shown the king of hearts. But I have a void in diamonds, which I think is a useful void to him. So I bid 6 hearts, and he now knows that I have a void in diamonds. He knows I have the king of hearts, and he knows that I have the ace queen of spades, and he has the ace king queen. He doesn't know I have the jack of clubs, and he bids 7 no trump, the grand slam. So I'm not sitting here trying to brag on us. I think the point of what I'm trying to show here is by having that bid of being able to show by my bid of 6 hearts, my bid of 6 hearts showed the queen of trumps, queen of spades. It showed the king of hearts, and it showed I had a useful void. And he was able then to put it in 7 no trump. That is something I can go back, if that's something y'all would like me to do in one of the next 6 lessons after today, showing you how to show the useful void. In, if you're even getting to a small slam or a grand slam, it might make a difference. And there were actually, on Tuesday's game, I think there was at least 1 Michael's bid where the hand was open with 1 of a suit, and the 2 of the same suit was bid, showing I believe it was hearts and the other minor. But I think it's quite interesting as you play in these games, either at the club level or online, if you look and see examples of some of the things that I have been teaching you. Okay, for next week, I have 2 hands. This is material I have covered in previous lessons. They've opened a spade. Your partner has bid 2 diamonds. They raise to 2 spades. And West's partner makes a double. What is the meaning of East double? What type of hand is he showing? And I think you ought to be able to figure that out by looking at the competitive bidding lessons that I've been teaching. In the second hand that I want you to think about, they've opened a heart Your partner bids 2 no trump. You should know exactly what he's got. What does your bid of 3 clubs mean? Partner bids 3 clubs, and this is you, South. This is your hand. Of course, you were showing the minors, and your partner takes preference over saying, I like clubs better than diamonds. Do you make another bid? And then next week, we're going to look at the minor suits. I'm going to look at all the clubs and the diamonds, all of the bids, if they make interference. I'm going to special emphasis on inverted minors, especially if they put interference bids in. I'm going to hold off on showing you how to make a minor suit game try until I cover game tries a little bit in 2 or 3 lessons from now. So thank you very much, and let me stop record and we will come back together.